Daily Spurs News Roundup with me, Harry Scarfe, providing you the latest Tottenham news in the last 24 hours, as well as a full analysis of all the stories. So if you're new, please like and subscribe. Let's get straight into it. So let's get through your headlines to do Tottenham in the last 24 hours. Firstly, James Maddison said the lowest low I've ever had, heartbroken at the fact this injury has occurred at the time in my career, with the Super Cup, the Premier League season on the horizon too, the exciting Champions League campaign and it being a final World Cup year for England. It all feels very cruel, but nevertheless ACL reconstruction surgery was successful. To all my close friends and family, your support and love means absolutely everything to me. To those of you who have gone out of your way to message me on social media platforms and support me and my recovery even when we don't know each other personally, I appreciate you all more than you'll ever know, so thank you. And lastly, to those of you that doubt me, hate and mock, you truly motivate me to levels I didn't know I had inside of me, so again thank you. See you all on the other side. Next report from The Independent states that there is widespread belief that Eberechi Eze saga may come to a head this week. Eze is open to joining Spurs, with the club looking to seize a window of opportunity to possibly beat rivals Arsenal to his signature this summer. Next, Ben Davies says the boys have really enjoyed working under him. That's what he's talking about. Thomas Frank. Next, Thomas Frank said, I only speak about my own players. Frank refused to answer a question regarding rumoured Tottenham transfer target Eberechi Eze in the press conference before the PSG game, but he was asked nonetheless. PSG's Luis Enrique said, well, there were some options for me in the last 6 months before I came to Paris, and Tottenham one of them. It's going to be difficult because they have been in training for the last month and we were in our first week, but that is not an excuse. Next, report from Gimme Sports states that Tottenham are prepared to do a deal around £16 million for Eberechi Eze. They have approached Crystal Palace to understand his release clause. Thomas Frank is a big fan of Eze and is driving the move, and Eze himself is open to it. Next, report from the Beautiful Game podcast states that Jed Spence is now in advanced talks over a new long-term deal at Tottenham, with final formalities expected to be completed this week, and the contract will run until 2029 with an option to extend for a further year until 2030. Next, Tottenham encouraged all fans attending the UEFA Super Cup final back on Wednesday to wear something white to create a sea of lily white in the stands, and that was successful. Next, BBC report the Tottenham Hotspur have sufficient money to spend during this summer transfer window. ENIC, who have the football club, are understood to have injected cash into the club to be used this month. Next, Sky Sports report the Spurs are in the market for a defender in this transfer window, but the current priority is deals for a winger and attacking midfielder too. Ben Davies on whether Spurs may be more cautious under Thomas Frank. Davies said, I'm not necessarily sure cautious is the right word. We're definitely going to have a different game plan based on the opposition this season, and that starts tomorrow. We feel like we've trained and prepared to put our best foot forward and to put the best performances out there to beat PSG. We've got to put in the work, so we hope it pays off. Quick alone watch for you here. Yan Min Hook versus Reading. He played 95 minutes, 2 shots and was fouled twice. Will Lancashire versus Colchester, played 62 minutes at 1 shot and 3 out of 10 duels won. Ashley Phillips versus Walsall, played 99 minutes, 11 clearances, 98 out of 102 passes completed and 1 tackle. Aerial duel 7 out of 8 won. Jamie Donnelly versus Walsall, played 99 minutes, got 3 shots, 1 on target, 1 key pass, scored 1 penalty. Alfie Devine versus Barrow, played 54 minutes, 25 out of 29 passes completed were successful, 1 shot on target, 2 key passes and was fouled twice. George Abbott versus Leighton Orient, played 61 minutes, made 2 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 key pass and 1 dribble completed. Damalo Ajayi versus Middlesbrough, played 64 minutes, got 1 goal, had 2 shots and 1 key pass. And Tyrese Hall versus Wigan, played 30 minutes, 5 out of 5 passes completed were successful and was even fouled once. Next, a report from the Sports Agent states, Sports Agents asked a question to David Ornstein on Eze to Arsenal, and David Ornstein said Eberechi Eze was being looked at when there was a possibility of even Nwaneri leaving. He signs a new contract and Eze is less of a pressing concern. The left side is an area that Arsenal are thinking of as a priority, but that would take departures first. Fabrizio Romano reports there is still no agreement for Savinha to Spurs as of now. The first bid far from City's valuation. Christian Romero is Tottenham's new captain. Christian Romero said on X that today begins a new season for us. One, it is truly special for me. Becoming the first captain of this beautiful club is an incredible honour. I arrived here 4 years ago with a single dream: to write my name into the club's history and leave my mark by winning a trophy, and I achieved that. Now a new journey is in front of us. A beautiful season lies ahead, and together we will work to relieve the joy of that unforgettable day. May 21st, 2025. Whatever happens along the way, I only ask one thing: stay united. There will be highs and lows, but together nothing is impossible. Come on, you Spurs. Thomas Frank spoke about naming Christian Romero as the club captain. Frank said he was very honoured and very happy about it. It was a big thing, and he should be to lead this wonderful club out on the pitch, not just for the Super Cup, but also throughout the season. I think he has the right qualities. He leads through his behaviour on the pitch, driving the team forward in every way, and outside the pitch he's always pushing the team. Christian Romero spoke about being named the club captain by Spurs' social media, saying, "I'm very happy to be the first team captain of the club. It's amazing for me. Today we spoke before training with Thomas before the start of the season. I've spoken a lot with him. He's a good coach, and I said thank you for this also. It's a big responsibility. I spoke with the players, and tomorrow is another big night for the club, for the players, for the fans. We need to enjoy this moment." Next, a report from the Daily Mail states that Tottenham are stepping up interest in Sevilla and are set to go again for the Brazilian winger. Manchester City insists that only offers as well in excess of £50 million will be entertained. Next, Daily Mail reports that Manchester City need to sell a number of non-homegrown players in order to meet their European quota for the upcoming season. That could affect the Sevilla deal. Fabrizio Romano reports that Mala Solomon could leave in the final weeks of the transfer window, with the Liga and Premier League clubs calling, and Spurs are aware of their interest. Next, Football London report that Fabio Paratici was spotted at the UEFA Super Cup final inside the Stadio Friuli with Tottenham technical director Johan Langer. Daniel Levy is not in attendance in the UEFA Super Cup. He's helping his daughter settle into a USA university. The CEO, Vinay Bernakashu, is present in Italy. Yus Bissouma posted on his Instagram a picture of an empty Hotspur Way, reminded he's been suspended for disciplinary reasons. Thomas Frank says he's been late on several occasions, and this time was one too many. Next, Thomas Frank said, "I'd like to thank all the players who were brave enough to step up and take a penalty." This follows Tottenham's 2-2 draw with PSG, when PSG won, unfortunately 4-3 in penalties. So PSG won the Super Cup. Lots to be proud of, though, I think, for Spurs. But that's Frank speaking about the players took on the pitch to take a penalty. PSG manager Luis Enrique has been full of praise for Tottenham's performance, and Udin saying that Tottenham played a great match. They were stronger than us. I don't know if the outcome was fair, but that's how football is. He went on to say Tottenham deserved much more. They played better than us. Football is sometimes unfair. I'm happy for that, but I must say it was unfair. Polinia said, "I think it's the beginning of a journey together. Tottenham is a great club and has all the conditions to achieve big things. It showed in the past, and for sure it will show again in the future. I share the dressing room with top players, as well as we have a top coach who's a great human being. I think we all have the conditions together to achieve something big. We just need to be together and keep fighting." Thomas Frank was asked on whether he'll be able to quickly move on from the PSG defeat. He said, "I have my rule for 24 hours. I can be disappointed for 24 hours. We want to compete in a lot of different tournaments, and if you want to do that, you need to be ready to do a quick turnaround and go again. I'll make sure the players are ready and come out flying on Saturday." Thomas Frank described the Tottenham performance against PSG as a special operation that he started planning the day after the defeat against Bayern. He said, "In medical terms, the operation succeeded, but the patient died." Last but not least, a Sports Witness report that according to Sevill's agent, Manchester City want €80 million to sell the player. Those are your stories. Let's go through and just pick out the key ones here. Only the key ones I think is appropriate. So BBC reporting that Tottenham do have sufficient money to spend, and that ENIC have injected a lot of cash into the club. If that is the case, that is really positive. It's exactly what we want. Sky Sports saying that we're in the market for a defender, but the current priority is in other positions, winger and attacking midfielder. I think that should be the case. I think that's right, but we should also go for a defender, especially if Thomas Frank playing back three against PSG. It means we need more centre backs. Ben Davies speaking very well to the media. A lot of players doing well on loan. Quick loan watch there. And who stood out? Tyrese Hall pressing once again. Good from Davalera Jai. What else have we got? Yeah, decent from the likes of Divine and Donnelly, to be fair. Decent from Ashley Phillips. Yeah, it all looks very good. All the players doing well on loan. Interesting that David Alston says it's less of a priority for Arsenal Eze, because Wanyeri is now staying as viewed as an option if Wanyeri left, which is interesting because Wanyeri wasn't really in the team, so I don't kind of get that comparison. Richard saying there's no agreement from Sevilla at the moment. So yeah, it appears to have stalled in the last 24 hours. Romero being named as the new captain of Tottenham, I think it's absolutely the right decision. Probably expected, yes, but the right thing to do. Remember, this is a player that was expected to leave not that long ago, so Thomas Frank done very good to keep him at the club, and hopefully a long-term deal or a contract of some kind is coming very soon. So Frank and Romero speak very well about each other. City not entertain any offers of under £50 million. Solomon could make a move away from Tottenham. He's attracted interest, including from Premier League clubs, not named though who. Whilst we've got Basuma, I mean, that's the punishment you pay. I mean, it's really poor from Basuma. I'm really angry with him, so yes, deserves to be on his own. I hope he realises what he's done wrong. Frank, I mean, he speaks well about players taking penalties. I think the abuse that Matchday has received, just going through some of his Instagram tonight, it's just, honestly, it's horrific. Race and things like that should never be brought into it, and no footballer should experience any abuse of any kind for missing a penalty. They're human beings at the end of the day, however much money they're paid, like me and you. It's not right. There's a genuine argument to be had about the signing of Matchday, whether it was right or not. There's a genuine argument to be had whether Matchday had a good cameo against PSG or the penalty itself, but the abuse is wrong, and it's just a minority of Spurs fans, but it's really poor. Luis Enrique, classy guy, I really like him, but when they're an opposition manager says you deserve to win the game, that you really did deserve to win the game, you were absolutely hard done by. Alpolini, I think, is a really good sign. He was good to get to PSG and speaks really well, but coming to the club, Savini's agent said €80 million. It's a big gap, isn't it, from £50 million, although of course there's that difference between euros and millions, so not quite as big as maybe it would sound, but it's all gone a little bit sour, a little bit quiet with Tottenham in the last 24 hours. A lot of the repeated message, in particular with Savini. That is your daily Spurs news roundup with me, Harry Scarfe, providing you the latest Tottenham news, as we've done, and also I've done the second part of the video analysis, just a quick analysis today, going through a few stuff, because there wasn't that many headlines to go through, or certainly any new news anyway. A lot of stuff from sources that report, again, a few new bits, but bits we assumed as well, the main one being Romero as the new captain, which I'm absolutely delighted about. It'll be interesting to see what the rest of the leadership team looks like, but get involved in the comments below with anything that I've said you agree with, disagree with, any headline you heard. But for now, come on you Spurs.